Looking to transform your family game nights? At Perfectly Picked Games, we specialize in family games that bring everyone closer. Our games aren't just fun. Kids and teens will learn how to take turns, develop basic strategy skills, and understand the thrill of winning and grace of losing. With our exclusive gift of games, you can give months of gaming excitement to your family. Choose a 3-month or 6-month gift, and we'll deliver hand-picked family games to your doorstep every month. And here's the best part. Right now, you can use the promo code GOLDENMOJO and receive 20% off your selected plan. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Use promo code GOLDENMOJO and save 20% today at Perfectly Picked Games.
Hello, all you spooky chasers. Hop on in the car with Golden J and take a ride down Route 66 as you explore all the haunted and abandoned places left down a road long ghosted. And you never know what hitchhiker might get picked up along the way. So buckle up as we take a haunted trip down 66. Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden J, taking a haunted trip down 66. Oh, I'm so glad you guys joined me. We're packed out of Alton. We're heading on down to St. Louis. It's only about 24 miles from Alton, believe that or not. Kind of crazy, but listen, it's all nothing but a good fucking time. I'm glad you guys are coming along with me, and I hope you're enjoying these Saturday extras. Hopefully, I'm keeping you entertained as we head down 66. And I hope you learned a little something along the way. I know that we kind of cover a lot of different things going on. I mean, there's been all kinds of places that we've stopped in so far. But, man, we still have a ton to go. So, all right. So, anyways, we are leaving Alton, and we're heading down to St. Louis. Like I said, it's only about 24 miles from Alton, so this won't take long. We got to we'll keep enough snacks in the car that we won't eat, I'm sure. So we won't have to stop again for a little while, even though I think Mason ate all the beef jerky. Damn it. Anyway, we're going to go to the Lemp Mansion, which is at 3322 Damale Place in St. Louis, Missouri. Thank God we're out of Illinois. Good Lord. This is a historical house in the Benton Park, St. Louis area. It is also the site of 3 suicides by Lemp family members after the death of their son, Frederick Lemp, whose William J. Lemp Brewing Company dominated the St. Louis beer market before Prohibition hit. I mean, good God. The mansion is said to be haunted by the members of the Lemp Mansion. Let me say this just as a thing. Is that I know we covered Lemp Mansion, and it is in episode 64. So if you'd like to hear more of the history and the hauntings, please go back and listen to the rocker chick tell you about it. And let me tell you, I went back and listened to it while I was researching for this particular episode, and she does a great job of breaking down all of the stuff that goes on, and it's a great episode. Go back. It's episode 64. But for this episode, I found some personal experiences that I wanted to share. But first, just as a refresher, I'm going to tell you about just real quick about the deaths that happened to the Lemp family in the house in that area. So, Frederick Lemp was in 1901. The death of Frederick Lemp, the presumed heir, in 1901 marked the beginning of the pattern of misfortune, with the family attributing his death to mysterious health complications. Then in 1904, William Lemp, the patrons of the family, died by suicide in his bedroom at the mansion, seemingly still grieving for the loss of his son, Frederick. Elsa Lemp, in 1920, was found dead in her bed from a gunshot wound to the chest, another tragic loss for the family. In 1922, William Lemp Jr. shot himself in the head at the mansion, a wound to the same spot his father had used. In 1943, at the age of 42, William Lemp III had a heart attack. His death is considered a shock to the entire family through the natural death other than a suicide. Charles Lemp in 1949 committed suicide. He was a recluse who suffered from bone cancer and other illnesses. But before his suicide, he shot his beloved dog to spare it a life without him. His body was discovered by his brother Edwin. So there's just a brief bit. I want to get into some of these personal experiences for this particular episode, since, like I said, the Rocker Chick did a whole deal on the Lemp Mansion in episode 64. So I'm just going to give you some personal experiences. All right. This is from FatBug24. Most of this stuff come from Reddit. So, you know, me and Reddit. I'm not a huge believer in spirits and paranormal until I got married at Lemp. We rented the space and got the tour. Everything felt fine. Adequate, if not odd, until we got to the bathroom where the bride gets ready for the ceremony. A sharp "oh no" escaped me, and both my wife and I were cackling at how it felt off. We lived close, so decided to not have our first night as a married couple at this place. We really enjoyed the venue and 100% would recommend it. We knew what we were getting into, and the mystique of the lore was part of it. But that bathroom, no thank you. I think I'd like to see a picture of that bathroom. Usually groceries, 4667. I stayed there maybe 20 years ago and would go with a few friends. This was when one of the rooms were only about $80 a night, and 2 or 4 of us would go in on it. Lots of crazy things happen. The heavy safe doors would slam back when they had them. A payphone and front phone ringing at the same time, only to pick it up and the other end be completely dead. A sound of a lady cackling as she ran up the spiral stairs, the stereos being turned on by itself, bowls being moved on their own, and also just experiencing a huge feeling of dread in that house in general. Felt like something was watching you when you fell asleep. That's just what I can remember. That's interesting. Usual grocery 4667. This is the same person as a second post in Reddit. I didn't realize that when I was reading through it. Normally when I read through it, I just read the stories. I don't necessarily read the usernames, but let me hit you with this. Spent the night there a few times in the early 2000s. Had strange experiences each time. My friend and I were the only ones staying. We stayed in a room at the top of the steps. I can't remember if it was Charles or William's room. We arrived sometime that evening. The staff was still there finishing up the kitchen from the restaurant. We decided to take a nap knowing we'd be up all night exploring. I don't remember how, but we woke up a couple hours later and heard music. We thought it was from the kitchen staff. If you're unfamiliar with the spiral staircase on the side, you can see straight down to the kitchen. Well, all the lights were off and no one was there. We were the only guest. We figured out the music was coming from the lavender room. All the doors were locked. It was an older song on the radio, the oldie station that at the time played music from the 60s. Each room had a small stereo, and that was the source. The crazy thing was we went back to our room and asked the Ouija board to have the music stop, and it did. We could see through the keyhole that nobody was in that room. Have felt strange, almost sick in that house. Had to cut our time short. I had a feeling of dread and being sick and knew I needed to get the fuck out. I have experienced other stuff, mostly sounds. Won't fuck with a Ouija board nowadays, though. Yeah. I don't suggest that for anybody. I'm going to be honest. There's just too many variables in that. So yeah, usual grocery 4667 sounds like they've been there many a times. All right, this is from Missy Ross 27. My friend, my daughter, and I stayed there several years ago in the lavender suite. We were the only ones there and roamed the house. Charles' Lemp room was very active with cold drafts. Camera wouldn't work, and in there heard a dog barking in the house, possibly Charles Lemp's dog that he shot prior to shooting himself. Took pictures upstairs in the third floor and got the outline of a young boy peeking out of the closet. My friend saw a misty image coming down the back stairs. All right, and the last one. Here we go, the last one. This is from Real House Wifist. Wifist? I don't understand where people keep coming up with these names. I'll never understand them. I spent the night in the lavender room twice. The first time I didn't sleep due to the sound of 55. But I kept feeling the covers get pulled down off my feet. The second time, as I was going to sleep, I started smelling perfume. I could feel it in my nose like someone spraying it next to me. Even if you don't experience anything in the house, it is beautiful. So there you go. Just some personal experiences from the Lemp House. Like I said, guys, the Rocker Chick did a hell of a job. Episode 64. Go back and listen to it. She gives all the history of the beer and all of the deaths, and then some of the hauntings that are in there a little bit more. Episode 64. The Rocker Chick. All right. While we're still in St. Louis, we are going to go to the Lehmann House Bed and Breakfast. This is an interesting little story. Over the years, many documented and undocumented haunted happenings have been at the Lehmann House Bed and Breakfast. But who is doing the haunting? While there has been some debate, the consensus is the spirit making itself at home in this massive manner is none other than Edward Rose, the original owner. In 1893, Rose, a real estate developer, banker, and the man behind development of the city's most prosperous neighborhoods, decided to build his dream home. He envisioned it as a palace where he and his wife could wail away their golden years in the lap of luxury. Unfortunately, his golden years didn't last very long. In less than a year, Ross passed away in a terrible pain right in his own house. Passed away in terrible pain. That's sad. Nobody wants to die in terrible pain. But after spending $2 million in today's currency on this magnificent abode, Ross wasn't about to be cheated out of his dreams. So he decided to stick around and enjoy his digs for a bit longer. The Lehmann House has served as a mirror for the city's elegant history, and culture for over 150 years. Today, the mansion has become the longest-running B&B in St. Louis. Every brick, beam, nook, cranny, and darkened hallway echoes tales of the past of those who once called it home. After Rose's unexpected death, his wife, Anna Elisa, sold the mansion to Frederick and Nora Lehmann. And that was in the late 1880s. So Frederick was a national known lawyer and budding politician with a long list of professional and philosophical accomplishments. Later, he became the state solicitor general, whatever the hell that is. Lehmann bought the house as a private residence to host distinguished guests and politicians. 3 U.S. presidents visited him here in his time as the general. As the solicitor general. His prominent place in St. Louis society led to the house being named after him, even though he didn't build it. After Lehmann's death, the mansion changed hands several times, thus began a slow decline into obscurity and despair. The property was finally rescued by a new owner who undertook much-needed renovations in the early 2000s. Even today, the Lehmann House reflects an opus of the bygone era. With 10,000 square feet and 26 rooms, it displays wealth usually associated with the tawny streets of the 19th century Manhattan. Ghostly orbs caught on camera, shadowy figures who stealth through the night, shimmering apparitions, and noises that seem to emulate from nowhere. These ghost occurrences have attracted the attention of the owner, guests, and even paranormal investigators for years. They all agree on one thing: this mansion is haunted. So I told you earlier that they pretty much agree that Edward Rose is the one doing the haunting. He was one of 3 owners to die within the 4 walls of the mansion. The most recent was in 1980 in the library, a room the current owner, Marie Davies, says her dogs refuse to enter. If you're wondering, Ross's favorite spot to hang out are in Nora's room, the original primary bedroom where he died, the president's room, and the Judge Sears room. Davies has had an odd relationship with Rose over the last 30 years, yet they somehow seem to coexist. She remembers one night when she awoke to the ghostly apparition of Rose standing at the foot of her bed, gazing down at her. She recognized him from his distinctive mutton chop beard on the picture in the hallway near the library. Another time she awoke in the night to Ross hovering over her dresser, rummaging through her possessions. He was picking up pieces of jewelry and a hairbrush, just sort of looking through things, she recalls. My conscious thought was, oh my God, he's really tall. I turned my back on him and finally went to sleep. Ross's whereabouts can also be tracked by the eerie sounds of his footsteps strolling on the 2nd and 3rd floors. The sound of hard-soled shoes often reverberate. That's another one of those words, guys. Reverberate through the mansion, even when no one's there. Once Marie and her friend heard the same noise in an empty room. She says it sounded like a wagon or something with wheels being pulled across the hardwood floor. The odd thing was the room was carpeted. Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? Guests have witnessed orbs dancing across the room and the feeling that they were being watched. Then there's the moving furniture and the mysterious opening doors. When they check closely, there is no one there, only the sensation of a ghostly presence. There are similar stories about their belongings mysteriously disappearing and then reappearing. The primary bedroom, the third floor, and even the library are all centers for the spiritual activity. While the house has become a home away from home for thousands of guests every year, others seemingly have no desire to check out. Let me browse through this list. The sounds and the voices, that I talked about. Heavy footstep noises in empty rooms, disembodied whispers. There's shadowy figures and floating orbs. What else we got? Items seem to be moved, with a chair once being seen moving in the night. Some visitors explain a connection to the home's past, with a sense of coming home even in the presence of paranormal activity. You got to give it up for Marie, though, man. That's amazing. This guy's hovering over top of her, and she's like, "Hey, leave my shit alone. I'm going back to bed. I'm tired." No, that's my hairbrush. Leave it alone. Ass. So there you go. The Lehmann House Bed and Breakfast in St. Louis. Home of the Arch. You guys have all been there. Come on. I've been up in it. It's pretty cool. If you haven't done it, go do it. It's a good time. Where are we off to next? I think we're heading down to Wildwood. Yeah, we're going to go to Wildwood next episode. So, until we get to Wildwood, don't forget to go check out the website, theunitedstatesofparanormal.com. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/2sop. And, give us an email if you like what I'm doing here with Route 66. If you think it's cool and you're enjoying it, let me know. The United States of Paranormal @gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please send them on through. I'd love to hear from you. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. We're all social. I get back to you as soon as I can. All right, guys. Until next time, keep it spooky. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal podcast. Check us out at theunitedstatesofparanormal.com, where you can find our Spotlight of the Month, Fan of the Month, and all of our amazing merchandise. Or you can find us on social media at Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795. And don't forget, we are now on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/2sop.
Please check out the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. Golden 80s, Indiana Chiefs Fans, Gridiron Kings, Murd Nerds, The Nostalgia Tug, Real Terror, and the Puck Yeah podcast. But you can still find Golden Image Podcast, A Quart of Books and Booze, and The Call Guys, wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
And if you have a location or a story that you would like for us to check into, please email us at the United States of Paranormal @gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen. Thank you for all of your support. Bye.